Following Black Adam's so-called box office success, Dwayne Johnson recently tweeted his response to a question about the superhero's future at Warner Brothers. And this adds another mess to the damage control for Black Adam and Henry Cavill's bait-and-switch Superman exit. So today we're going to talk about James Gunn promising Black Adam's return to the DCEU, and discuss how The Rock is getting all the blame for humiliating Cavill's Superman. Starting off with James Gunn's promise to Black Adam. According to Dwayne Johnson, he connected with James Gunn after the CEO's recent announcements, so Black Adam won't be in the new DCEU first chapter of stories. Johnson also added that DC and Seven Bucks have agreed to keep looking into how Black Adam can be used in future DC multiverse chapters. One can only hope, but Gunn has said in the past that some of this will be announced in the next year, so it probably won't be long before we find out where the franchise is going. Johnson is almost certainly not going to be a part of those first announcements, and it could be a few years before we see Black Adam again, if we do at all. This means Johnson's Black Adam intellectual property isn't going away completely, but no IP is. It's in a back pocket, a vault, or somewhere hidden in a desk, and this message is the least amount of information anyone could give about the future of a major franchise character. And for now, there's a Black Adam somewhere in the DCEU multiverse. But the thing is, nobody cares about Black Adam as much as Johnson does. And while we can see how the sunk cost illusion might be in play here, given that 15 years of work only earned approximately $50 million in box office sales, we must be close to the end of this man's dedication to a mediocre superhero movie, followed by Dwayne Johnson not being the box office draw many thought he was. In 2013, Dwayne Johnson got the nickname Box Office Viagra because he helped movies like Fast 5, G.I. Joe Retaliation, and Journey to the Mysterious Island do really better at the box office. And it's safe to say that he seemed like the boost the franchise could use to make more people want to buy it. It's not clear how much Dwayne Johnson's presence changed things, but it became part of his brand. This idea was only strengthened by the success of Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. But still, it's not clear how much of the success was due to The Rock and how much was due to the franchise's name. Black Adam was part of the DC universe, but most of the marketing focused on Dwayne Johnson and not the DC universe. The movie was more like 2014's Hercules than it was like a major franchise movie. After the first weekend, it made $67 million at the box office, which is a good start for any movie, but it was only $14 million more than Shazam's opening of $53 million. And what made Shazam a profitable project was the fact that it didn't have Dwayne Johnson in it and had a smaller budget. So it seems like the cost of having Dwayne Johnson leading the line for Black Adam may not have been worth it because it didn't really pay off. Next up, so is Johnson really coming back to the DCU? We all remember in his first movie, The Mummy Returns, the actor played one of the worst CG characters ever seen on screen. Since then, he has rarely been in a role where he's not the main character. After his statement and what James Gunn said, it's hard to tell if he'll play a role in the future of Black Adam or not. It's also clear that Black Adam's big dream of fighting Superman is over, but it's not so clear where that leaves him. Johnson's statement, where he revealed that DC and his production company would keep looking for the best ways to use Black Adam, sounds good initially, but it doesn't seem to be a promise that it will happen. It just says that the option will be explored. And Johnson's further comment that the DCU story is told through their vision and their creative lens shows that things have not turned out the way he would have liked. But Gunn's comments, on the other hand, make it clear that he's looking forward to working with Johnson, but they don't say anything about how that might work in the new DCU. Moving on to The Rock getting dragged for humiliating Cavill. The much anticipated Black Adam starring Dwayne Johnson has been out for almost 9 weeks, but it looks like the movie has failed to impress people, and we think it wouldn't be too much of an exaggeration to call it a box office failure, as the movie, which he's been working on since 2008, made a modest $391 million worldwide on a $200 million budget. But some estimates say that the number shows that the movie hasn't made enough money to cover all of its costs, including marketing and distribution costs. So what does Henry Cavill have to do with it? Well, Dwayne Johnson has been hoping for Superman to come back, and it was in his movie Black Adam that Henry Cavill made a cameo and hinted at Superman's comeback and a possible showdown between the two giants. And after the movie's release, The Rock said it took 7 years to get Cavill back, and the comeback didn't happen until DC Studios got new management. But we now know that was not the case. One theory is that by having Cavill play Superman in Black Adam, Johnson was trying to give a shot of adrenaline to an otherwise weak movie. He used Cavill as a booster, but the movie just didn't take off. And at the same time, it may look like The Rock just set up Cavill, who was kicked out of James Gunn's future DCU after Black Adam didn't do well at the box office. Not to mention, Black Adam failed to reinstate Henry Cavill in DCEU. We know that Black Adam came between two big changes in the DC franchise, the Warner Brothers Discovery merger and the creation of DC Studios. And somewhere between these these changes, he promised the DC fandom would get a new hierarchy and a better future. But both events were much bigger than anything The Rock could have controlled, and the actor may have taken advantage of the situation to get Henry Cavill to be in his movie. The majority of his movie was about Black Adam's past and how he became an anti-hero, and we think the mid-credits scene was used on purpose and with the strategy to introduce Superman into the DCU and set him up for a future trilogy that would result in a showdown between Black Adam and Superman. But Warner Brothers Discovery and David Zaslav's 10-year plan didn't really align with the actor's focus on a single character. On top of that, The Rock's marketing strategy of taking all the attention away from the main plot of his DCU film led to fans ending in a crash that was more disappointing than it seemed at first. And the movie didn't do well at the box office, which made things worse for the new DCU management, which has been having trouble with projects that don't give the executives a reason to keep them going. What's more, fans blame The Rock for Henry Cavill being sidelined by DC. Well, according to the fans, Dwayne Johnson is a selfish person who used and humiliated Henry Cavill. He may be onto something here. One of the DC Comics universe fans feels bad for the actor from The Witcher and is sad that Cavill won't play Geralt of Rivia or Superman anymore. Another angry movie fan said that Johnson was to blame because he hyped up Henry Cavill's return as Superman and made it seem like the guy was back for good, even though he never was. The fan also thinks that The Rock deserves James Gunn getting rid of Johnson's version of Black Adam too. But even though it's easy to point fingers, Henry Cavill did announce his return as Superman in one of his October Instagram posts, and he even filmed his second cameo as Superman for Flash. And back then, this did seem like a done deal, and nothing this fall suggested that there would be such a sudden change of plans. There's something else to think about as well. The thing is, actors are adults who have learned enough to be able to make their own decisions and act responsibly, and it seems like Henry Cavill isn't the only one. Last but not least, Dwayne Johnson's response to Superman's cancellation. Well, as far as Dwayne Johnson is concerned, it's business as usual. He didn't say anything directly about the end of his Black Adam Superman dream, but he quietly unfollowed both the Black Adam and Warner Brothers Instagram pages. Even though the actor has denied this, he's now promoting his upcoming holiday movie for Apple TV called Red One. This shows he's ready to move on as if Black Adam never happened. And even when the movie came out on HBO Max on Christmas, he didn't say a word, even though he kept posting on his social media accounts. For now, DCU fans just have to wait to find out more about what they can expect from the DC franchise in the future. James Gunn has already hinted at some possible projects and confirmed that he's writing a new Superman movie about a younger version of the character, which sounds like a really exciting project. Gunn has also said that a new version of Batman will be a big part of the franchise. On top of that, there have been rumors about Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot's futures, but nothing is set in stone yet. It's also unclear what will happen with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Fury of the Gods, and The Flash. But as of now, it looks like these movies will be a strange, unsatisfying end to the current DCEU we were all trying to get familiar with. Well, that makes Black Adam's mid-credit scene really awkward now. That's all for this video. Do you think we're ever going to see Black Adam return to the DCEU? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.